YouTube, what's going on? So I'm here with my second moving to Austin video. So in the first video, I went over the pros, the cons, and the pro cons. And in this video, I'm actually answering a lot of questions from the last video. So I just like doing things different. And I wanted to do this one different. So here I am making it a little different for you. Now, if I don't touch every topic in this video, definitely go back and watch my first video because it's most likely in that one. And then again, if it's not in either one, then just leave a comment. I'll be glad to give more information on things and finding things out for you. That's no problem at all. So before I dive into much, go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it, and hit that bell notification. That would be a huge appreciation. Let me dive into the video. So first I'm gonna be talking about the neighborhoods in Austin and surrounding areas. So I'm no realtor, I don't do that for a living. So I can't go into this in full details. So before I dive into neighborhoods, I want to go ahead and give you a recommendation who can give you a lot more information. That will be Ian Williams. He also goes by Ian of Austin. He's on YouTube. He makes YouTube videos as well about Austin. So I would go check it out if I was you. I think he could definitely provide some good detailed information on Austin because he is a realtor. But now, as far as my experience on the neighborhoods, there are some great neighborhoods in Austin, Texas. I live southwest in Oak Hill. It's right on the edge of hill country, so it gives you that San Diego-ish vibe. I live on the top of a hill, and it's very beautiful. It's nice scenery out here. I really love it. It's only about 15 minutes away from downtown without traffic, and with traffic, it's about 30 minutes. So still, that isn't that bad. I'm very centrally located, so I really like that. But there's more out there. There's not a lot of food places in Oak Hill. So if you're interested in being around a lot of food, North is probably better off for you. If you're more interested in being around more diversity, I believe North Austin is better for you, as well as just things to do. North Austin is pretty great. Now, you're not going to get the same nature type aspect of the city. You're not going to have the hills so much in North Austin, but you'll have a lot more things. You have the Domain. The Domain is a shopping mall slash park slash apartments. It's everything all into one, and it's actually going to be Austin's next downtown. They're building some pretty tall buildings out in the Domain. It's a very beautiful area, and that is located, of course, in North Austin. Now, I believe realtors will tell you to buy a home in South Austin just because they're building up South Austin so much. It's going to be the next mecca of Austin. So South Austin isn't that bad either. If you have children, Austin's school system is rated one of the top in the country. In the outside surrounding areas such as Round Rock and Pflugerville, San Marcos, they also have good school systems. So if you just Google a little bit on Central Texas school systems, you will be really pleased by the results. So if you do have kids, moving here could really be a great thing for them. Now, Austin is the capital of Texas. It's also located in the middle of Texas, hence why they gave it the nickname the heart of Texas. The beauty about Austin is it's so close to all these other large cities. From my home, it only takes about 45 to an hour to get to San Antonio. To Dallas, it only takes about 3 hours. And to Houston, it's only 2.5 hours. To make it to the beach, if you want to go to Galveston, that's only 3.5 hours. And to South Padre Island, that's only about 5 hours. So you can really make it to every major thing that's happening in Texas just by a short drive. And if you don't like to drive or you don't have a car, it's only about a 30-minute trip to these other major cities in Texas. So I really love the location of Austin. I feel like it doesn't get any better than that. I actually drove to Colorado from Austin in November, and that was a pretty interesting trip, just going through New Mexico and driving all the way through Texas. I will never do it again. I won't. That was a 12-hour drive, and a tractor trailer turned over right in front of us. That's a different story for a different day. I have pictures. It was an insane thing to witness, but just the location of Austin and Texas in general is really nice. Traveling to other states is very inexpensive compared to going completely across the country. A round trip to Chicago is gonna run you maybe less than $100. To Orlando, Miami, less than $100. In California, if you're lucky, less than $100. So traveling outside of Texas while being in Texas is really a beauty in itself. Things I really like about Austin is the infrastructure. It's a very new town. It's newly built, and buildings are being thrown up left and right. I'm not sure if you're interested in this. This actually wasn't a question. It's something that I wanted to talk about. But the buildings are very modern, and they're, like I said, they're being thrown up. 5 years from now, I can only imagine what Austin is going to look like with all the projects that's going on. When I moved here, they were just starting to build a building. That building has since opened less than a year, and it's a skyscraper. As you're driving through downtown, you just see so many things that you're like, I wonder what this is going to look like. I wonder what the skyline is going to look like. So I'm very interested in things like that. And I just know the skyline in the downtown area is going to be so beautiful. If you're really interested in architecture, look up Google's new campus in Austin. It's being built right by the lake right now. Now, obviously, with so much construction going on, you're going to have issues with transportation. I spoke about this in the last video. I wanted to touch up on it again because it is very important. Now, Austin is no worse than Los Angeles, no worse than New York, but it's pretty bad, and people are saying that it's very similar to the traffic there. Now, when you have a lot of construction, those are just issues you're going to run into. When you have big cities, those are issues you're going to run into regardless. You're going to run into traffic problems. Now, a way to solve those traffic problems, let's say public transportation. Austin's public transportation system isn't the best, but they're working on it. There are plans to expand the rail system. There are plans to expand the bus lines. So I can only imagine 5 years from now, 3 years from now, getting around Austin is going to be a lot simpler than what it is now. Now, again, it's growing pains, and growing pains are the best pains to have. So if you are really interested in living in a great city, Austin isn't that bad of a choice, because once you buy a house 5 years from now, the price of that house is going to skyrocket just because of the buildings and the transportation around the city. Now, the Dayton life in Austin is, I would assume it's pretty exciting. Just because, like I mentioned before, there's so many surrounding cities, you should never miss anything huge. Let's say Beyonce is coming to Houston, you can make a quick drive to Houston and be back the same night. So I would assume that Dayton is amazing, and there's so much things to do. So dates should be really extravagant, and you should really blow someone out of the water with a date, even if they've already been to it. It should be fun. You have kayaking, you have tubing, you have lakes, and you have beaches. So, I can't really speak to it too much, but dating shouldn't be that hard of a thing here. It's just really about building the confidence to speak to that person that you actually want to date. Now, people could obviously be rude because you have a mix of cultures and different backgrounds coming together in Austin from different cities. So, you could run into a little of that. But, since me going out so much, I haven't really ran into too many rude people. So, just shooting your shot is the most important thing in dating. And then if that doesn't work out, on to the next. So my overall perspective, will I leave Austin, Texas? Now, to be completely honest, it was never my intention to live here for the rest of my life. I've always been interested in seeing the world, so I do plan on leaving. Now, do I have an exact date to give you yet? No, I don't. Do I want to tell you where I plan on moving? Not just yet. But I will be documenting and recording everything. So once I make that announcement, it will be up here for you to view. And I also go through the steps on how I plan to move and what I plan on doing and where I plan on going. It's all going to be in future YouTube videos. So subscribe to my channel so you can possibly check out my journey of moving from state to state. Ultimately, I do believe Austin is a great city. You know, I love it. I love the nightlife out here. There's not much diversity in the nightlife, I will say that. So if you're looking for hip hop bars and things of that nature, they're gonna be a little sparse, but everyone is generally nice and fun to party with, so you can have a crap ton of fun, as well as the number one thing, the employment opportunities. Austin is ranked in the top 3 as far as towns to move to with the most jobs. Companies are moving here left and right. Apple, Amazon. Well, Amazon is actually the last one left, but Apple, Oracle. There's so many companies that's moving here, so employment couldn't get any better. Now, Austin, again, in my opinion, I think it's a great place to live. It's not for everyone, but it is a really good place to live. So while I may be moving out, I don't want to bash the city because it's not for me. I want to spread the truth and the likeness about it, and I think everyone should try out Austin because they could possibly find a new home. If I left anything out of this video, go check out my first moving to Austin video because I probably have it in there. Again, this video was mostly questions that were left on the comments and just a few things that I wanted to touch up on. So go check out my first one. I also have a video, the top 7 things to do in Austin for cheap or free. If you're planning on moving here, you might as well check that out too, because it's pretty interesting. But again, if you're interested in seeing more content, I'm always down for suggestions. I also have some more plans that's coming in the future that I feel like you guys will really find interesting. So again, like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you all for watching. We out.